Hello, and welcome to a Paladin's Guide to Subterfuge via a Subtlety Rogue. So today we're going to be looking at the talents, glyphs, and the overall abilities that you'll be using, or I would be using, as a Subterfuge Subtlety Rogue. Please note that these are my choices and not necessarily for you per se. This is just to give you an idea of what I would pick up. Yay. So, first and foremost, let's go ahead and pop into our movement abilities. Or stealth abilities, I guess would be more the correct term. But for me, it's movement. Night Stalker increases speed while stealth by 20%. Moving around while stealth is always pretty important while leveling, I would say. Because as a rogue, I tend to skip a lot of mobs instead of killing them like you normally would, unless it's a kill quest, of course. Moving right along, we go to our level 30 ability, which we pick up Combat Readiness. You enter a state of heightened awareness, deflecting enemy strikes while increasing effectiveness. Successful attacks will deal 10% less damage per application, stacking 5 times. Lasts for 20 seconds, but if for 10 seconds elapses without an incoming weapon strike, this state will end. I don't like the others. So yeah. Moving on. Leeching Poison. Leeching Poison coats your weapon in a non-lethal poison for 1 hour. Your melee attacks have a 50% chance to poison the target. Obviously, it's a poison. And also... Each weapon attack after it is applied, weapon strike after it's applied to the target heals you for 10% of the damage dealt. If you shiv, which is your offhand little shank ability, you restore 5% of your health. Probably should actually have shiv on my bar, but anyway, I don't. Moving right along, Shadow Step. Obviously, for me, this is a no-brainer. I'm so used to it from, just leveling every other time. Although, I guess an extra haste or dash is nice, sprint, and preparation as well. I can see people wanting it. Moving right along, we have level 75, which is kind of a lame things, but Paraplegic Poison is what I picked, even though I don't use it, but it's situational. There's sometimes when I might want it. In case I happen to PvP or something, and I don't want to change stuff. But Paraplegic Poison coats your weapon in a non-lethal poison, again. For 1 hour, each strike has a 20% chance of poisoning the enemy for 15 seconds, stacking up to 5 times on a single target. Upon the 5th application, the target will be stunned for 4 seconds. If you shiv on this, it causes instant paralyze on the target's lower body, rooting them in place for 4 seconds. You stab the guy in the nuts. Works for me. And while we're on the topic of poisons, I feel that we should look at your other poisons and just quickly show them off. They've removed instant poison, and wound poison still deals the damage but decreases the healing. Yeah, good trade-off, I guess. I mean, you can only have one damaging poison, you can only have one utility poison, so this counts, I believe, as a damaging poison. Crippling Poison has the same effect as before, but now, if you shiv with it on, you reduce their movement speed by 70% for 12 seconds. Pretty good. Mind Numbing, if you shiv for it, it's also pretty much the same. If you, increases the cast time of the enemy spellcast by 8 seconds for next spellcast for 8 seconds by 100%. Good for against healers, of course. And then we went over these two. So, moving right along, let's go into glyphs. So, Glyph of Stealth reduces the cooldown of your stealth by 4 seconds. Seems like a pretty good choice, overall to me anyway. It is the one I would go for. Glyphosap increases the duration of sap against non-player targets by 80%. Good for dungeoning and good for if you got two mobs next to each other and you want to stop one from killing you. And then Glyph of Exposed Armor applies 3 stacks of weakened armor. Good because targets seem to take a lot more damage later on, and so I believe it'll be pretty good. Glyph of Hemorrhage is a minor glyph would pick up. Your Hemorrhage ability causes lingering damage over time to targets that were already affected by bleeds. Same as the current minor glyph, basically. Glyph of Disguise, obviously, for shits and giggles, it's pretty fun. And then Glyph of Vanish sadly doesn't work or Glyph of Decoy, sadly doesn't work how I hoped it would. I was hoping. No, I was not hoping that it would put a little log there, like in Naruto. But I was hoping, just pop it, that it would, like, take some damage, be targetable. That way, as subtlety, I could pop it on a target, and say target goes and keeps hitting it, or even gets confused, you know. I could then come up behind it and start laying into it, but it doesn't do that. So let's look at your abilities. We're going to cover the passive abilities first. A lot of these you're probably used to, but a few have some slight minor differences. For example, if you happen to remember before, you had to keep your recuperate up in order to keep your energy coming in. However, this is not the same anymore. This is now based on your slice and dice, which makes it even more important. And you regain 8 energy every 2 seconds while it's active. Slice and dice, that is. Very good ability. Detect trap, not an important thing. Find weakness. Your ambush, garrote, and cheap shot abilities reveal a flaw in your target's defense, causing all attacks to bypass 70% of that enemy's armor for 10 seconds. Very nice. Very, very nice. I would usually have a macro set up so that I pop my Shadow Step and then my ambush, and it's like carnage. Fleet footing, not that. Honor Among Thieves. When any player in your party or raid critically hits with a spell or ability, you gain a combo point on your current target. This effect cannot occur more than once every 2 seconds. It can only occur while you are in combat. These are... I guess everyone gets that now, which is odd. Or maybe they don't, so let's talk about it. Attacks made while stealth for 6 seconds after stealth cause an additional 10% of damage. Nifty, nifty. Your mastery increases damage done by your finishing moves and the effectiveness of your slice and dice by 37%. Well, you know, it'll obviously change. My mastery is 37, so you only get 1 point for your mastery. But it starts off at 24. Interesting. It's not like it used to be. I guess now every point counts for the amount you start with changes, but yet your... Yeah, I don't know. And I could probably go crazy with it, but I'm not going to currently. And last but not least, your... Well, I almost completely said that wrong. Yeah, that move. Sanganian, I don't know. I hate WoW sometimes. You deal an additional 25% of damage affected by your Rupture, Garrote, and Crimson Tempest. These are all your finishing moves, and then an opener with Garrote, whatever. Sinister Calling. Oh, that's cool. Everyone gets haste because of you. And it doesn't show that you get it. Oh well. Profession's useless. Alright, let's talk about abilities. So, Backstab, useless. Sorry. I see no point in... I mean, I have it on my bar, but I see no viable point in using that while leveling unless you're in a group. You don't get to use it unless you cheap shot them with an opening cheap shot, or you use your kidney shot. Other than that, I don't see a point in it. Moving right along. While it is not exclusively for rogues, this is a new ability. Crimson Tempest. Costs 35 energy. A finishing move that consumes combo points on any nearby target to slash at the flesh of all enemies with 8 yards, dealing physical damage and causing the victim to bleed and suffer an additional 30% of the initial damage over 12 seconds. Pretty good, pretty cool ability. It's nice to see some AoE actually going into rogues beyond the one spec. As you can see, your poisons, you got a little bar for it now. Ooh, why didn't I have that on my bar? I also had that in my macro. I completely forgot about it though. Premeditation adds 2 combo points to your current target, and you must use or add 2 of these combo points within 20 seconds, or the combo points are lost. Hemorrhage, it should. Oh yeah, you did a Found Knives. I forgot about that. But anyway. Okay, you actually can AoE using... Okay, I learn things every day. I happen to have missed that. That should be that. Okay, Hemorrhage. Instantly strikes... instant strike that deals 140% weapon damage, 203 if you're using a dagger. When used on a target that is bleeding, because we have the glyph, when used on a target that is bleeding, it opens a wound further, dealing an additional 50% of the direct damage over 24 seconds, awarding 1 combo point. This replaces your Sinister Strike. And that... Oh, nope, Shadow Dance. Enter a Shadow Dance state for 8 seconds, allowing you to use abilities that would normally need stealth. The energy cost of Ambush is reduced by 20 while Shadow Dance is active. Ambush has a 60 cost, it would cost 40. If you happen to have full energy, you can pop off 2 of these. Pretty nifty. There is Shiv, so that you see it. That also needs to be on my bar. And that is it, isn't it? Yep. So you don't have a whole lot of abilities as Subtlety, but overall rogues still have a lot. And most of these are utility based, I feel. Go over there. Alright, so yeah, that's it, guys. Let's find something to kill. There's my prey. Let's stalk my prey. Let's add 2 combo points. Let's Shadow Step. Let's... Whoa! Ambush it. Oh, nope, I cheap shotted it. That works. Because we're able to do this, we apply 3. Ah! It died before I could show that off. And I put that on my stealth bar, so that doesn't work. Let's take you off. There we go. Just because I want to show that. Whoa! I shadow stepped in front of it. That doesn't work. This guy's evading everything. Well. Are you... what? There we go. So you see this generates combo points. It's actually quite effective there. And of course you no longer have a throwing weapon. So yeah. And then just an example real quick. Let's go ahead and just pop these. My Shiv did nothing. Sad. Ooh, I have 2 stacks of combat insight. So combat readiness, evasiveness, increases energy. Alright, let's burn this guy. You can see rogues are pretty nasty. Alright, but we're done. We're done. I thank you for watching. I encourage you to have a wonderful day. Later, Gators. And I can't